Welcome to IndianShareTips.com, and due to availability of social media, we all are affected by first finger syndrome, and thus make sure that before you post a video or a message, make sure that it is not a fake message and the time to recheck is important.
One thing that isn't helping at all is the unbelievable amount of fake images and videos being spread, not only on social media, but also by legitimate news outlets. I even made the mistake myself here on Rising on Friday when I stated I was impressed with Zelensky getting into full military gear to fight on the front lines. Turns out that was an image from last April. I fell for it. I apologize. Unfortunately, I'm not alone in falling for it. Bild, a political news outlet in Germany, shared a video of what looked to be a horrific bombing by the Russians in Kiev during one of their broadcasts. But it turns out the footage was from a 2015 chemical explosion in Tianjin, China. Newsmax used a photo of a crying older woman standing in front of her devastated home with the caption, "The current devastation in Ukraine." But the photo was from 2015. An Italian news broadcast used footage from the video game War Thunder when talking about the war in Ukraine. No doubt viewers seeing a rain of missiles were horrified. It was being reported that 13 heroic soldiers on Snake Island were confronted by a Russian warship. The audio recording shows the Russians telling the Ukrainians to lay down their arms to avoid bloodshed and unjustified deaths. The Ukrainians are infamously heard saying, "Russian warship, go F yourself." It was then reported they fought valiantly until they were all killed by the Russians. President Zelensky even announced he would posthumously award the men medals of valor. Well, it turns out whomever claimed they had died was mistaken. Instead, the Ukrainian border guard disputed whether anyone was killed, and shortly after, video footage emerged of the Russians giving food and water to the 82 men, not 13, from Snake Island, who were then being transferred to Crimea. Some of the soldiers have now given interviews saying if the Russians wanted to bury him, they would have, and now they instead will go home to their families. Another shocking video was of a tank swerving in the street and running over a civilian car. Totally shocking video, jaw-dropping. But thank goodness the person actually survived this crushing experience. Media was reporting this as a Russian tank and using it to show the callousness of the Russians and their invasion. But it turns out this was actually a Ukrainian tank that ran over that vehicle. Now, many of you saw the heart-wrenching video of the father saying a very tearful goodbye to his wife and daughter as he goes off to battle. This was being reported as a Ukrainian man sending his family to safety while he fights against the Russians. Well, the man is Ukrainian, sort of, I suppose. He's one of the rebels in the Donetsk People's Republic. He was sending his family to Russia for safety while he stayed behind to fight Ukrainian forces. The original video was posted by the mayor of his town several days before the Russians invaded Ukraine. And of course, I can't leave out the ghost of Kiev. There's footage of a fighter pilot downing several Russian jets. The video, of course, went viral with millions of views. The claims are this pilot took down 6 Russian jets in one day. But now, by the way, that number has jumped up to 10 Russian jets being taken down. Now, a fighter pilot who takes down 5 planes throughout the course of their entire career is called an ace. So to have 6 in one day or even 10 in one week is incredible. It's actually unbelievable, in fact. And it turns out the footage is from a video game called Digital Combat Simulator. But even with this video being debunked, the former Ukrainian president, Poroshenko, is tweeting that it's real and even shared a masked photo of the pilot. And there's a lot of wild claims going around of who the pilot is. There's a lot of talk that maybe the pilot's even a woman. And of course, it turns out that that photo there is actually an old photo that's recirculated. Now, the list of this fake news.
There has been a lot of fake news regarding the crisis in Ukraine. You must have seen this viral video of a Ukrainian father sending his daughter off to safety as he stays to fight Russia after Russian forces entered Ukraine. The media pounced on these heartbreaking images without saying that the footage was actually filmed before Russia started its military operation, after the breakaway leaders in Donbass advised evacuation. The girl is being sent to Russia to seek refuge rather than fleeing their forces. You also probably saw images of Ukrainian President Zelensky in full military uniform bravely fighting off the Russian advance in the country's capital Kiev in person. But in fact, the photos were from April April 2021, when Zelensky was inspecting Ukrainian troops in the country's eastern border, nowhere near Kiev, of course. US Congressman Adam Kinzinger tweeted about the so-called Ghost of Kiev, the Ukrainian ace fighter pilot who allegedly downed 6 Russian jets, or as Kinzinger put it, owned the Russian Air Force. Kinzinger wished the pilot, who identified as Samuel Hyde, Godspeed and more kills, without checking the picture that showed American comedian Sam Hyde pretending to be a pilot. Needless to say, he's not. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry published footage claiming to be of a Ukrainian fighter jet shooting down a Russian plane. But some Twitter users realized that this footage was actually created in a video game called Digital Combat Simulator World, developed by Eagle Dynamics and originally posted as a YouTube video, as confirmed by Reuters. And then there's BBC Breakfast using this footage of what they said was Russia's invasion of Ukraine. But in fact, this is just old footage of a
At IndianShareTips.com, it is our endeavor that you get the correct information which has been checked and rechecked. Same is the case while we provide the stock market advisory services to our clients. We are SEBI registered investment advisory services, and our best call in the segment is Bank Nifty option tips. You can start in Bank Nifty option tip with even a small capital of rupee 5,000 and can make up to 30% intraday profit. We can assure you that no business can give you this much returns, and that too with a limited amount of risk. So go ahead and join with our Bank Nifty option tip and get rid of your financial worries now.